Before you tap, buy, pause, skip, or turn away, there may already be a number beside that action. Not a certainty, a score. Your phone does not see the future, and an algorithm cannot open a secret window into your mind. What it can do is collect a trail of tiny clues. What you watched, how long you stayed, where you slowed down, what you ignored, what you returned to, and what usually happens next. Alone, each clue is weak. In sequence, millions of them begin to form a trajectory. The unsettling part is timing. The model can rank your next likely choice before you experience that choice as a finished thought. To understand how, we need to follow the loop from behavior to hidden state to prediction, and then into the brain itself. Start with the exhaust of ordinary life. A click is one event. So is a search, a scroll, a pause, a correction, or the gap between two actions. When a service records these events, it converts them into features: an item identifier, a timestamp, a device or interface context, and a time interval. The raw labels are too sparse for a model, so an embedding layer compresses them into coordinates. Videos watched by similar audiences move closer together. Shopping actions that play similar roles occupy nearby regions. Your recent sequence becomes a path through this learned space. This path is not a literal map of desire. It is a useful compression, a latent state that captures patterns the system was rewarded for finding. Every fresh action nudges that state. Even silence can matter when the system knows what was shown and what received no response. Now the model asks a training question. Given the sequence so far, what comes next? Older systems used transition tables and Markov chains. Recurrent networks carried a hidden state from one step to the next. Modern sequential recommenders often use attention, letting the model weigh which earlier events matter most right now. During training, it may hide an item and learn to reconstruct it or predict the next event directly. At serving time, a large system commonly works in two stages. Candidate generation pulls a manageable set from millions of possibilities. A ranking model then scores each candidate for outcomes such as clicking, watching, buying, or leaving. The answer is a distribution. Option A, 38%. Option B, 24%. Option C, 11%. The winning score becomes the first thing you see. The machine has not discovered one inevitable future. It has calculated which future currently has the strongest statistical support. But prediction is only half the mechanism. The ranked option is placed at eye level. You respond. That response becomes new training data. The model updates, ranks again, and closes the loop. Forecast, select, observe, update. Some systems deliberately explore by inserting an uncertain option, because without showing something new, they can never learn whether you might like it. This makes the process more than passive observation. The model predicts inside an environment it helps arrange. If it repeatedly selects one path, that path becomes easier to take and better measured. Alternatives become harder to see and generate less data. This is why recommendation can feel eerily accurate. Part of the accuracy comes from learning your history. Part comes from controlling the menu presented to your next decision. The system is not simply reading a stable preference. It is estimating a moving state while helping create the next evidence about that state. Here the story meets neuroscience. Researchers measured a readiness potential, a slow change in brain activity before a self-initiated movement. In a 2-button fMRI experiment, patterns in prefrontal and parietal cortex carried weak but usable information about left versus right choices, several seconds before participants reported becoming aware of deciding. A later study recorded more than 1,000 individual neurons in 12 patients. In the supplementary motor area, firing rates gradually increased or decreased as a movement approached. A population of 256 neurons predicted the impending decision with greater than 80% accuracy about 700 milliseconds before reported awareness. One model of this process is an accumulator. Noisy activity gathers over time. When a threshold is crossed, the movement commits. A recommender's hidden state and a neural population state are not the same thing, but both turn many noisy signals into a probability about what happens next. Does that mean free will is an illusion? These results do not settle it. The laboratory choices were deliberately simple: Move now, press left, press right. Reporting the exact moment an intention becomes conscious is itself difficult. Later work showed that the readiness potential can emerge when random neural fluctuations are averaged backward from the moment a threshold is crossed. What looks like a pre-written command may partly be the statistical shape of preparation. AI faces a similar limit. A high score is not a guarantee. New goals, new contexts, reflection randomness, and information the model cannot observe can bend the path. The key insight is not that your future is mechanically fixed. It is that choice has a visible runway. Patterns accumulate before the conscious story arrives, and systems can learn that runway well enough to anticipate, and sometimes influence, the next step. The model predicts a path. Awareness is one of the forces that can still change it.